What started this death and dying declines of churches series that I'm doing? It's because I studied it, I found myself in it, and decided that in order to correct a problem, the church must be able to identify what the problems are, be willing to not only identify them, but to seek out help to change them. Otherwise, you'll be steadily on a decline to closing your doors. Now, I know this upsets people who are faithful churchgoers that this is happening. You might be finding it in your church, discovering that you have the signs of this happening in your church, and it's upsetting. But going about and attacking one another, calling people names for pointing out the problems and how to identify it and how to correct it, well, it's just not good as far as being Christ like, and it's also not helpful in getting the churches to thrive rather than close their doors forever. My goal is to continue working with my pastor that I sit under. We talk regularly on how to improve the church that is declining. Will it close its doors? It has money enough to stay open for several years if everyone should stop coming. Will it thrive? Will it decline? We don't know. We're at that um, we're at that area where we're just not certain what's going to happen. But we do think or at least I think, that it's important to go ahead and document everything that's going on so that we can help other churches that are in the decline mode not shut their doors. We have many empty pulpits of need for ministers to fulfill and to preach. And yet, even in those areas, there's committees that delay people who are qualified to preach to fill those pulpits. And their churches are declining. Their churches have people that need to hear sermons, and yet, because of their fears and because of their history and a lack of trust in God, they don't fill those pulpits with people who can and are willing to preach. So there's a lot of problems, but you can't give up. I haven't given up. I haven't walked away, even though everything I've offered to do and all my suggestions were all turned down. I did not leave. I'm here to try to help the pastor and help the church turn around. But in the process, I noticed on YouTube there are no videos that are substantiated to give a series on what this problem is, how to identify it, and how to turn it around. And that's what this series is all about. It's not to have a place for people to make nasty comments and be unchristlike and call names. That's just not it. This is a place for education. This is a place to learn. This is a place to go forward. If your church is thriving, then you can pray for those that are not. Because this is not comfortable seeing and trying to turn churches around when you're fighting a tidal wave of people who are doing all the wrong things and they're just not seeing it. So, identify the problem, figure out how to correct it, and go forward in a positive direction. That's the whole aim of this series. That's it. So I'm not allowing any comments or anything on this series because one particular person has already gotten to be pretty nasty, and it's not what this is all about. I'm not here to allow those who backbite and call people names and all that and whatever they do in their life to continue to do this to others who are suffering and going through the decline of their church. They need prayer and encouragement. I'm not listening to people that are just plain idiots. When I call somebody a small fry, it's not calling them someone who is puny. It was referring to a person. But I don't call out their name. And I don't call out the church name because the names are not important. So I was identifying somebody by a name. It's the only thing I was doing. So, because it's I keep everybody safe, because that's not the point of these videos. This is educational, not stupid and mean. So hopefully this will help you to see what's going on here, why there is no comment sections, and hopefully help others go forward in a positive direction. God bless.